So we're in a difficult period right now, and everybody is facing challenges that we haven't faced before. There's a lot of uncertainty. Our energy is getting drained more, we might be getting more tired, and some of the challenges that we're facing at work are even that much more complex and complicated. We've adjusted to working from home, and there is either difficulty in the environment or even isolation that's coming up. So it's a moment to investigate what are some of the practices that make us feel more grounded. What are the things that we can do to feel more rooted so that we can support our friends and our family and our clients and our colleagues, and ultimately even support ourselves. So I offer up some tools that have been really valuable for me in my career, which are tools based on mindfulness. So if there's one takeaway that you can have from this dialogue, it's inviting in a practice of 10 to 12 minutes a day of meditation. If you can do that and take that on in the coming weeks, I feel like there's so much possible on how you can weather all the challenges that you're facing. And we're going to start things off with very simple and basic practices. We're going to talk about two today. We're first going to talk about belly breathing, and then we're going to talk about the body scan. The reason we talk about belly breathing and a body scan, particularly for lawyers, is because lawyers tend to be head heavy. We are a thinking profession. We are a profession that is valued for problem solving. We're a profession that is always being valued for what we know and what other people know. And so we're information seekers and we are problem solvers. And because of that, we're often in our heads. When we are in our heads all the time, that thinking and that constant thinking that we can't stop can really start to drain our energy over time. It's one thing if we are putting that thinking to work when we're solving a problem, but the rest of the time when we are thinking and our mind is spinning, it might actually be draining our energy. And so when you're feeling uncertain and you're feeling unsure, what happens to the body, you might even notice, is when you're starting to worry about the future, you might notice that your body starts to tighten up. You might notice that there's a tightness in the chest, or you might notice there's a discomfort in parts of the body, or your shoulders get tight. So one thing that you can do when this feeling comes on is belly breathe. And what we want to do is actually, when you're breathing in, you want to both take in and expand both your lungs and your belly. And so when you take a deep breath in, you're expanding both, and when you breathe out, you're collapsing both. And the reason is this belly breathing is actually, we've been breathing this way for our entire lives, but over time in our sedentary jobs, we stop using the belly as part of our breath. If you watch a baby, we have a young son, and when I watch him sleep, we see his entire chest and belly cavity rising and falling when he sleeps. And so that's what we want to get back to. When we start to incorporate our belly in our breath, you're subconsciously reminding all of your organs that you're safe. And when you do that, it starts to slow down the fight or flight, it starts to slow down the thinking. And so what you want to do is do 7 belly breaths. And so I'll try one right now. You already feel lightheaded, you feel a little more oxygen, it's sort of, everything starts to change. What I invite you to do is take 7 belly breaths several times during the day. And so maybe early in the morning, or when you start your work, or when a difficult email comes in, try the 7 belly breaths, and that may be a way to help dampen some of the challenging feeling. The second thing I invite you to do is a body scan meditation. The body scan meditation is extremely valuable because, again, we are now getting out of our heads and into our body. And during a body scan meditation, what you're doing is you're actually paying attention to different parts of the body. And when you do that, it's going to be a natural counterbalance to that fight or flight feeling that we can take on all the time. That fight or flight feeling is what's draining. And so when we move into our body, we might naturally relax and might notice things about ourselves that we might not otherwise be paying attention to. There's a lot of information in the body that we can gain and gather. As lawyers, we're always doing intake everywhere else. What I want to invite you to do is actually intake what's happening in the body in a given moment. And so try a guided meditation, a body scan meditation. There's a link that shows up right now that'll show you a place where you can go to listen to a body scan meditation. The last thing I want you to do is actually track the results. And so there's a link to a spreadsheet here, And what I want you to do is take a copy of that and track how it is that you feel through the course of the day as you take on these mindfulness practices. What I want for you to do is to track when there is uncertainty and the feeling that comes up when there's uncertainty. And then if you incorporate one of these mindfulness practices, the belly breath or the body scan, you can actually just note the outcome. And do this a few times a day, or at least once a day, every day this week. And at the end of the week, just see if there was any shift based on you taking on some of these practices. There's going to be more information and videos on these basic mindfulness practices. And in these times, I welcome you to try to take them on to benefit yourself and your community. If there's one takeaway from this video, it's practicing mindfulness tools for 10 to 12 minutes a day. It's practicing a guided meditation and or the belly breath, all of it for about 10 to 12 minutes a day, and then noticing the impact it might have over several days, over a week of practicing. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much.